David, thank you for joining us on the Alternative Cinema Show.
Thank you for having me.
American Hustle is your third consecutive movie to gain multiple Oscar nominations in less than 4 years. Have you discovered a formula that gets you awards? And what are the ingredients in movie making that contribute to propelling a movie to the forefront in award races?
I can't speak about other people. I can only speak about myself. And I don't think of awards. I just think of trying to make the best movie that I can make that's from my heart. So it's from passion. So I come from a place of passion and personal feelings. Everything is personal in the film. I feel every character personally. I write the story from each character's perspective as if it's only their movie for each actor. And I want a predicament that is human and deep that will show all of their emotion. And I also love music. I love the music of language and the music of emotion.
But in spite of the illustrious success, critically and commercially, of your movies, Hollywood still shies away from making such cinematic masterpieces. And they continue to make the blockbusters, sequels, and prequels. How do you, as an auteur, survive in this kind of environment, and what kind of challenges do you face when you set out to make one of your movies?
You know, I had a period of struggle, after a film I made 10 years ago, and I couldn't figure out what story to tell. And when I finally found the voice of the cinema that we're making, since The Fighter and Silver Linings Playbook, and now American Hustle, I feel very comfortable because I love the people. So we created a commercial cinema that we're fortunate to have created that's 3 films deep now. So audiences can know what these films are. They know a little bit what to expect. They're going to be about people and passion and romance and heartbreak and struggle and rebirth. You're right, that's not something that studios are building every day, but I think that's okay. We built this, we have to respect it now and try to keep doing it. But it wasn't easy to do. It's like Quentin is one of my favorite filmmakers because he does something that's very personal and artistic to him, but it also happens to reach a wide audience. And I think that's a blessing if you can get it, and so you just have to respect it and keep trying to do that. For example, when he did Grindhouse, I think he felt like he didn't hit that wide audience. I don't want to speak for him. I'm just, as a fan, I'm saying. But I think that after that, he really got serious with Inglourious Bastards and then Django. I don't know what he'll do now, but I know he got very serious with big subject matter.
So it's easier for you now to get finances and support from the studios because of this commercial success of your movie?
Yeah, but again, I prefer to go with independent financiers like Annapurna because we have a way of making films that we should continue to do. It's good for the studios for us to do that because we don't make it the way they do it. We do it in a smaller way, a faster way, and but we've proven 3 times that we can do it. So I think we deserve to make it the way we make it, and then they can distribute it. And we want to make them money. So we want to be good partners with them.
Incredibly, this year, your cast members are featured in all the acting categories in the Oscar nominations. And several of your actors have already won Oscars recently, in the recent years. How do you draw these kind of award-winning performances from your actors?
I have great respect for the actors, and I write for them, and I want them to do things they have never done before. So I cast against type, and it's scary for them and for all of us, but that's what makes it exciting. I think it makes it exciting for audiences when you see Christian Bale be vulnerable or funny or romantic, or you see Amy Adams be fierce and sexy and then raw and vulnerable, or you see Jennifer Lawrence as you've never imagined her, or you see Bradley Cooper as you've never imagined him, Jeremy Renner, even Robert De Niro, we felt did someone as a gangster that he had never done before, someone who spoke another language and surprised everyone.
I noticed that you keep casting the same actors. Is it because you know them better, or you understand their psyche better, or because you write the roles for them?
I write the roles for them and I feel comfortable with them. I can pick up the phone and say, I think I have a role for you. Bradley or Christian or Jennifer, you know, and then they can have a dialogue with me. So it feels more personal to me. You know what I'm saying? So we have a personal relationship. We kind of start making the movie months before we ever go on a set. You know, even when I'm writing it, we start making the movie because spiritually or emotionally we're making the movie. I'm feeling them as a new person, as a new character. They take their souls and they merge it with the script and create this new soul that is a privilege. So that's a very exciting process for us as storytellers.
American Hustle closed the Dubai International Film Festival. How was the audience reaction to the movie, and particularly to Robert Redford's monologue in Arabic?
The audience loved Robert De Niro's when he spoke Arabic. The audience was very excited about that, and you know, it's a very passionate audience. I think Dubai is going to become a very passionate center of cinema, just like Berlin, just like Cannes, just like Sundance. You can feel the passion there. There's a lot of passion for cinema, and I love that.
Well, American Hustle is not the first film to have a Middle Eastern angle, because back in 1999 you made Three Kings, which dealt with the aftermath of the first Gulf War, and Three Kings was one of the first Hollywood movies to humanize Arab characters and present them in a positive light.
Well, I mean, I very much, that was one of the reasons I made the movie, was to humanize every culture. I think everyone is human and everyone has a point of view. And that war was a little faceless. I don't even think people remember that war. You know, the '91 war, there have been so many wars since then. That was one short, strange war that many people, when I did the film, people thought it was strange because we hadn't had the other wars yet. And the reason I wanted to make the film was to make a meditation on violence and to show how horrible violence is. There's only 5 bullets in the whole movie. Every bullet, I wanted to feel momentous and terrible. One bullet is a terrible thing. And the humanity of the Iraqis, you know, and they became my friends, many of those people who were in the movie. So when we did go to Iraq, I was supportive of them because they wanted to have democracy in their country. And so many of my friends said, why are you supporting this war? And I said, well, you know, I have a lot of friends who live in the United States who are from Iraq, they're refugees, and they were in Three Kings, and I support them. But then as the war went on, I said, oh, this is obviously very complicated, you know, and it is obvious. I don't know that you can go around the world and just do that, you know. So I do also see how complicated it is and how difficult it is.
You always color your movies, even the most tragic ones, with conviviality and lightheartedness. How important is humor for you in storytelling? And where do you find inspiration for your humor?
I never try to be funny. You understand what I'm saying? The humor to me comes from the same place the tragedy comes from. It's from just real human commitment. So the actors and the characters are all committed passionately to whatever they're in, and that sometimes is funny and sometimes it's heartbreaking, and the same cause is just looking at people. I love looking at people. I love, each film begins with just looking at a person. You know, The Fighter just begins with Christian Bale on a couch. Silver Linings begins on Bradley Cooper's back. And American Hustle begins on Christian Bale's belly, really, and then it begins on it goes to his head. And what I'm really saying is look at this human being, look at this person. And I have great love and fascination. And I can usually I must love every character and see their point of view. And even the most troubled ones, or the most complicated ones, are often the greatest reservoir of hope and humanity to me. And I think any great spiritual tradition will tell you the same thing. I have an instinct for what I feel, what I'm attracted to about a person, what I think is fascinating about a person. And there are things that I just find really, really entertaining and interesting and amazing and magical. And sometimes it's sad stuff, but sometimes it's just funny. And they're not trying to be funny. It's just how they are. I just think it's just how people are. I can look at myself. I can laugh at myself. And I carry around a picture of Groucho Marx because I just want to remind myself quite often that, you know, don't take yourself too seriously, you know. I mean, those are often the funniest moments when you take yourself so seriously. And you want to say, just take it easy, you know, relax a little. How about you laugh a little bit?